authentication and authorization. So in this, so we have done two things. This here we have developed the view. So what is that view? Is a registration view, and one more is a login view. And in this, we are trying to save the user. And after that, so we are trying to create a session by sending which details here, user details, and then we return what here, dashboard. But in this case, we are not checking for is it that user is what do you call it as is having a specific role. Okay, so what we have to do is at the time of registration or at the time of login, at the time of login or at the time of registration, now we have to add this user. We have to add user with a specific role. But here we just created user, that's all. We just created user, but we have not added any role. Means is it this user is admin or is it this user is what? Employee. Okay, so at the time of registration, we have to define is it this user is admin or what is that? Employee. So here we have a two. So now what we have to do is at the time of registration, now in the form, we are trying to input only what we are trying to input username, password one and password two. At the same time, we have to input group also because this user is belongs to which group? I mean role. Okay, is it? Uh, yeah, you can do from admin panel also. This is customizing yourself. There it is asking all the details, right? So many details are there. Okay, first name, last name, and everything, right? So sometimes your application doesn't require all. Then why you use existing? Okay, so here we just use only model. Which model we are using? User model. Okay, and that user model is managed by, so the methods provided by authentication only. So you don't require to do that. Understood? See, if you want, you can use directly the admin panel, and from admin you can perform all the operations. Okay, from admin you can perform all the operations. You can do like that. So that is what we have seen. So here now the user is valid. So you are trying to redirect which one here? Dashboard. Or actually, suppose after registration, it will create a, so I said login, right? So instead of that, what we can do is we can redirect to which one? Login template. So where we can enter username and password. So what we'll do is here, registration form, save. And here we don't create any. So here we'll redirect. After registration, we'll redirect to which one? So there is a login here. So once you register it, you are redirecting to which one? Login. So here we are not using which details? User details. We just write here form dot save and redirect to which details here? Login. In the login, it will try to render which template? Login template dot HTML. Now this is registration template and this is what? Login template. But in login template, you are trying to log in by giving username and password. But here you are trying to input username, password and re-enter password. So once it is login, then it is sending a request to which view? Dashboard. It is sending a request to what here? Dashboard. Now we'll try to say this here. Yeah, this is a flow here. So first what you're doing, registration. So create a templates folder. So in this templates folder, create one template. And what is the name of the template is register. Okay, template dot HTML. So this is a template where you are rendering the form. So form method equal to what here? Post. And you are trying to insert the form as a paragraph. So then I'm writing input type. Input type equal to submit and value equal to what here? Register. So this is nothing but registering one new user. Okay, this is registering one new user. So here the request is sent to which view? Register view, and this will receive the request and create the form. Okay, yeah. So after that, what will happen? It will come to this registration view, and here it will try to post the data, and form is valid, save it, and then redirect which one here? Login. Where in login you try to input username and password. Now you create one template here, and what is this template is? So login template dot html. So in login template dot html, you're trying to log in. So you're trying to log in by giving some details. Okay. Hmm. Okay, right. So here I'm trying to write a form. So here method equal to post, and here you're trying to input. Okay, you're trying to input certain details like so what you're trying to input here? Username, and you're trying to input input type. So input type is a text, name equal to. Now try to take the same name, and what is the name is username. Okay. So here I'm writing a name equal to username. The next again table row, and then next you are trying to input the password. So here you are writing input type equal to password. So you can give this. So this is a username, and the next thing what you have is a password, and name equal to password. Name equal to password, right? So after that, so we are trying to log in by giving input type equal to submit and value equal to login. Okay. So you are trying to input username and you are trying to input password, right? So this is what you are trying to do it. Now this is in what here? Login. Once you click on login, the request come to this login view. If the request method is a post, it will do all this. So if user is authenticated, then request to user and dashboard. Otherwise, again, it will render which template, login template, and generate what here? Response. Now, this is a dashboard view. This is which view now? Dashboard view. So dashboard. So what is the name of the view is dashboard view. And here you are trying to verify the permission. Okay, suppose here I'm not checking the role because we have not added role, right? We have not added role, but we added what? Permission. We have not added role, but we added a permission. We added permission, right? This user permission we added or not? Yesterday. So what is the database is? Okay, use project 31 DB. So show tables here. Now select to start from authentication permission. So all these are permissions which are there. And these permissions, I think you added to the group, authentication user groups. We added or not? I think not added. No, not added. But yesterday what we did, we said employee group dot permission add a permission. So code name is view student and print permission. So here we added to the group. So what is the name of the group? We added employee group dot permissions dot what is that? Add. So what you added here? Permission. So we added to the group. So this user should add into the group. What we have done is we created groups. How many groups we created? Two groups. One is admin and one more is employee. After creating a group, now each group is given one permission. And here for employee group, we have given permission called this employee group can view the students. Okay, but okay, we have to change here because here we just registered only user. So what you have to do is, because here we registered the user only with the username and password, and to this user you need to add even role. If the role is not added, then that role contains some permissions or not. Yes, but here we registered user with what username and password. So here in the form we need to register with username, password 1, password 2, as well as with what you required one more field. And what is that field is role is required here. Okay, because we have to input the role, that is whether this user is admin or what, whether this user is admin or employee. So that mistake we did here yesterday. So what we'll do here, we'll just we'll modify this form. Otherwise you have to create, you have to assign the role from admin. If you're not giving from here, you have to give the role from admin. If you're not giving from here, you have to give the role from admin. But if you want to give that role in registration form, in the registration form, you need to add one new field. Okay, and that field is a role. Now here, you have to create one. What is the name of the field is role. And here I'm writing, so Django dot contribute dot import forms. So here we have to take one field from Django dot forms. Import, what is the name of this is form. From Django import forms are here. You have to take form dot. So we have done here one mistake. So that is, now here I'm taking it as a choice field. And here you define a set of choice. Now here this choice is represented as one tuple. Okay. The choice is represented as one tuple and which contain the display value. So there is admin, comma, admin. And then second one is, I'm trying to take this as a employee, comma, employee. So what is the first one is display item. And second one is what here? Value. Is when you select this, it get what here? Value. So I try to give the same thing. So you can say this is a key and this is what here? Value. And the key and value and comma, I try to put one more field. Anyway, that field is get added, right? And what is the name of the field is added here? A role. Okay. So role is a field. Means total how many fields get added? Username, password 1, password 2. And the next one is what here? A role. Okay. Now once this is done, now come to the view. In the view, now you are saying form registration form request.post and form dot is valid. You are saying form dot save. Okay. You save this form dot save. Okay. Now once you save it, it means user is created. So once the user is created, what we have to do? This user is having some role or not? Yes. Okay, you have to add a role to this particular user. Okay, you have to add the role. See, up to this clear, right? Because yesterday we just authenticated without role. Okay, we just authenticated without a role. But what you are doing now? You are authenticating with a role. A role should be given. Yesterday we just registered the user. That's all. We have written the code for registration, but we created groups. Admin is there and employee is there. Suppose you create one user and that user is belongs to what? Okay, it belongs to employee, it belongs to what? Admin. If it belongs to employee, employee is having some permissions or not? Yes. What is the permission employee is having? View student. Then he can able to view only students. Now employee group dot permissions dot what is that? Add. And you are trying to add one permission. What is the permission you added? View student. The permission here it is added is what? View student. That is a permission which is get added here. Develop this application. So 1 minute. So here we have taken the rule. Now after saving this, what we are doing is, now if the form data is valid, then you read the role. So what I'm doing is here form dot, so cleaned data. So there is a form is having, so form is having one dictionary, right? So what is the name of the dictionary? Cleaned data. And what is the name of the field is role. Now here we read a role. Now here this form dot save means it will try to save whose details, user details. Now here I read the role. What we have done here, we read the role. And after reading the role, you need to read the role belongs to that group, right? Here I'm saying group. So group equal to, now you need to get the role from the group. You have to get the role from the group. So what is the name of the model is from authentication, django.contribute.authentication.models here, where the group is created in one model. And what is the name of the model is authentication group. Now see here, select a star from, what is the name of this is authentication group. And in this, you have a two groups. One is admin and one more is what? Yes. Now get it here. So now what I'm doing is I'm saying from django dot contribute dot authentication dot models import. There is one model called group. So you are reading the details from that by saying group dot objects dot get. So group dot objects dot get. Okay, name. So name equal to what is it? Role. Name equal to role. Role is nothing but if the role is admin, it will get which role? Admin role. If the role is employee, then is get which role? Employee role. You get employee role, and then so after getting this, okay. Now here, when you say form dot save, what will happen? It returns which object? Registered user object. Okay, registered user object. Now this form dot save is nothing but what form contain user details. Okay, once it is saved, it returns which instance? Model instance. And that model instance is nothing but what here? User. Then after that, you are saying user dot, this user is there, no? Now user dot, user dot, groups dot, what you are saying? Add. User dot groups dot add. Now you are adding one role. Now what is the role you are adding here? Group. So this user, see here, this user dot groups dot means there is a relation between user and group. There is a relation between what? User and group. So here user is nothing but, suppose if the user is some Naresh. Okay, Naresh. Okay, now group represent which group? Either admin, or the group represent which group? Employee. So you get that group, and then you are saying user dot groups dot add. So you are trying to add one group. Now this user is added in one group. This user is added in one group, and what is the name of that group is? Either is employee or what? Admin. And once it is added, then you are saying login. Okay, login. Now, if you want, you can redirect to which template? Login template. Now you are redirecting to which template? Login template. After registration, you can redirect to which template? Login template by saying redirect. So return. Okay, return, redirect. Return, redirect, and you are redirecting to which view? Login view. Okay, but here I added only one new thing. What is that is role? Because you are creating a user. After creating a user, you are adding this user into what? Group. You are creating a user. After creating a user, you are adding this user into what? Group. By saying user dot groups dot add, you are adding into a group. And what is a group? Can be either admin or employee. After that, it is redirecting to which view? Login view, where you are trying to input username and password. So yesterday we have not written this. Because we need to add the user into the group or not? Yes. We need to add the user into the group. You have to add user into the group. And this is the code for adding user into the group. So just try to understand this. User dot groups dot add. So there is a relation between the user and what here? Groups. User dot groups dot add. And what group you're adding it? Either admin or employee. Then return redirect which view? Login view. And here login view, you're trying to read the username and password. If the user is exists, you're saying login request and user and return redirect to which one? Dashboard. Now it will come to dashboard view, and here based on the role, you try to display specific dashboard. If it's an employee, then you display one dashboard. If it's admin, you display another dashboard. Okay. So I think you should understand up to this. I just put a pass here. Return, just return, will return the response here and we'll check. Up to this, we'll test it. So no logout here. So here, what will I do is from Django dot, okay, HTTP import. So HTTP response, because we require a dashboard. And here I'm saying response, okay, equal to HTTP response. And this is what here. So this is nothing but which one? Dashboard. I just display only the message. And what is the message is dashboard. Okay. I displayed only a message. And what is the message I displayed? Dashboard. That's it. Okay, now come to urls.py. So here I'm saying from application one dot views. So there is a login view and there is a registration view. So even there is a dashboard view and path login. So there is a login view and there is a path. Okay, register. And this is a registration view and there is a path as a dashboard. So there is a dashboard view. Okay, right? So these are various views are there. Now see, now if you see this model, and what is the name of the model? User model. So describe. Okay, describe authentication user. Now if you see this authentication user, it is having ID and is having what do you call it as password login, and he is a super user, first name, last name, email, he is a staff, and he is active. And what is the name of this is data join, right? And then you have a authenticated users. So there is authenticated user groups. Just see this. This also. Now describe authentication user groups. What it is having user ID. Now this is user ID. And there is one more. What is it? Another one is group ID. So that is what you're trying to do it. Users dot user dot user dot what you're saying? Groups dot add. What you're adding here? Group. Means you're linking a user with what here? Group. You're linking user with a group by using this from authentication user underscore. What is the name of this is groups. But here you don't have anything because we have not added anything. So this is a relation generated between the groups and what is that? User. Okay, user dot. Now what? How you are adding a relation here? In the views, you are writing. You read the group and you read the user. Then you said here user dot groups dot add. You are adding. You are adding this user into this particular group and redirect to which view here? Yes, login view. Redirect to which view? Login view, and you render registration template dot html. Yeah, let me go to the settings dot py. So it is done all the things. Application one, you have to define the template path. So this is there in base directory and base directly slash. So what is the name of this is templates. Okay, base directly slash. Okay, you're trying to do it with the templates, right? Anything else here? So view terminal. We'll just see manage.py. So we'll just try to see. So what is the first one is registration, register only, context, colon, right? So here, now username. So this is a predefined form. Now here we added this one new thing, that is admin, and one more is what? Employee. So, but this is a predefined form. Now you enter username and you try to input the password. You try to input the password. Okay, now this is a password here. And after giving the password, so username, password, and the role is employee. I've taken the role as employee, then click on register. What happened? Huh? Not matched, huh? Huh? Okay, Naresh one. What happened here? Reverse login not found. Login is not valid. So what we did here? Redirect to which one? Login. So we have a login, huh? urls.py, login view, and name equal to what here? Login. Okay. Now I try to resubmit the form. Username with this user already exists. Now it means this user is created or not. Uh, Now you can see 1, 2, and 2. Okay. So we'll try to see authentication user. Select star from authentication underscore user. Now here user is created NIT and Naresh 1. We'll create again. So what is the name of the user is Naresh 2, and enter the password ABCDEF. So 1 2 at the rate dollar. So just give this username. Okay. And then employee register. Now once it is registered, it is come to this. This is called which one? Login, where you enter username and password. What is the username is Naresh 2. 2 okay, enter ABCDEF 1 2 at the rate and dollar. So click on login. Click on login. CSRF token is required. So in login template, now you are adding percentage CSRF token. Go back. So input username and password. Okay, right. Then click on login. So once you log in, what happened? Then use.py. So form method equal to post. Request.method.post.get. Request dot oh, request dot request dot post. Request dot post dot get. So what you are trying to get username and password. Okay. Now here I'll try to verify. So I try to input again. So we have to check here. Some mistakes are there. Login and dashboard, because we are using redirect, right? So whenever you are using redirect, try to access with the name. So what is the name? Dashboard. What is the name is? Dashboard. Now resubmit the form. It says given error because it should generate again. Okay. So you cannot put it back. Okay. If you put it back, then same key will not be generated. Okay, Naresh 2. And click on login. Now you can see there is a dashboard. But this is common dashboard, right? But I want a specific dashboard. Okay, based on the role, I should give the specific dashboard based on the rule. So based on the role, you have to do specific dashboard. Now here you are trying to verify. that user, read the user details. Okay, user equal to request dot, what is that? User, request dot user, request dot. Anyway, this user details are there in the session or not? Yes. Up to this, you understood? Follow here. What we are doing? Registration view, we are creating registration form. And that registration form is having how many fields? 4 fields. Username, password 1 and password 2. And registration form inherit existing form. What is the existing form is? User creation form. And you are trying to create a user with username, password and role. So what is the role of that user? If the role is employee, then he can access only certain operations. He can do only certain operations. What operation? He can view the student details, but he cannot do addition or updation or what? Deletion. Okay, so that role we created. And then after that, you now what you have done, form.save means it will insert the data into which model? User model, and return which object? User object. And then you read the role, and then read the group or role belongs to selected role, and that role you are adding to which one? User. By saying user dot groups dot what is that? Add, and you are adding this user into one group, and that group is nothing but role here. What is the group here? Role. Okay. Then after that, you are saying return, redirect to which one? Login. So it will come to login, where you are trying to render which template? Login template. And if the username and password is valid, if the username and password is what? Valid. If username and password is valid, okay, you are checking whether this username password is valid or not by using a predefined method. What is the method we are using? Authenticate. And that will verify is it given username and password is valid or not. If the user is valid, then it will redirect, it will create a session. It will create a session and redirect to which view? Dashboard. If the username is not valid, then it will come to this. Again, it will display which template? Login template, and then generate which one? Output. So now here in the dashboard view, now we have to display different dashboards. We have to display the different dashboards based on the role. If the role is admin, it should display which dashboard? Admin. If the role is employee, then it should display which dashboard? Employees dashboard. Okay, na? So for that, now what you do first? You read the user details. User equal to request dot user. Now here I read whose details? User details, because this user details are there in which object? Request object. This user details are there in which object? Request object, because this login, it will create a session and it will store that session details into what? Request. It will create a session and it will store it. Now I'm trying to get the user details by saying user equal to request dot user, because your return redirect to which view? Dashboard. And here I'm saying request dot user. And this user, you should verify, is it this user is having which role? For this user, you have to verify is having which role. How can you find out that? So is it any relation is there or not? Yes, you need to get that from where? User ID, group ID. User ID equal to what? Group ID. Role is nothing but group here. What is the role here? Group. Okay. What is the role here? Group. Role is nothing but what here? Group. Okay. Now you have to find out this user is belongs to which group? This user is belongs to what? Which group? I'm writing if what is an user dot? Okay, user dot what is that? Groups dot. You are trying to search, and how you search it? By using which one? Filter. Okay, search by using filter. User dot groups dot filter, and you are trying to check name. Name equal to which one? Admin. If the name is admin. User dot groups dot filter, name equal to what? Admin. Okay, so filter, what it returns? Query set. What filter returns here? Query set. If it is exist, query set dot exist, then what you are saying? Return. Okay, return. Okay, return. Or you just say response equal to render. Okay, render request to comma. What is the name of this is? Admin dashboard. Admin dashboard dot HTML. Admin dashboard dot HTML. Okay, if user dot groups dot filter, users dot groups dot filter, name equal to employee. Name equal to employee exists. Name equal to employee dot exists. If this is exists, then return. Anyway, you can return response. But here we have to return. What do you have to return? A response. If it is employee, then you are saying return. Return what is that? A response. But what is that response is? A response equal to render. Okay, request to comma. What is the name of this dashboard? Employee dashboard. Employee dashboard dot HTML, and return the response. Okay, otherwise is not admin or is not employee. Actually, anyone should be there. Okay, but you cannot write a view without returning any response. So this condition is true, this condition is true. Suppose if both the condition is false, is it your view will return any response? No. But view compulsory should return some response. Then what I'm saying here, response, okay, response equal to HTTP response. I'm just displaying what here? Some dashboard. Okay, this is some dashboard. I'm displaying it and return a response. Okay, you can write else and you can do this one because how many users are there? Only two users. One is admin and one more is employee. You don't want this. If you don't want this, you can directly write what is this? Else. Else, only two users are there. One is admin and one more is what? Employee. So you should create how many? Now you should create how many templates here? Two templates. Admin dashboard.html, employee dashboard.html. Now create admin dashboard.html. So this is admin dashboard.html where you're trying to display the message saying that welcome. So I'm not creating any menu. So welcome, which one? Admin. And then I create one more template. What is the template here? Employee dashboard.html. And here I'm displaying the message. What is the message? Welcome. Welcome what? Employee. Only welcome message I displayed. And if you want, you can put one, what do you call it as dashboard with the navigation, with options like what employee can do it. What employee can do it. All those operations you can write here. Okay. And some employees will have some permissions and some employees doesn't have some permissions. Okay. So you can also verify, is it that employee is having a specific permission or not? But here we are just displaying a dashboard based on the, we are trying to display the dashboard based on the, based on which one? Role or what is that? Group. Based on the role or what is that? Group. So user.groups.filter, where you are saying name equal to admin dot exist. So response render request admin dashboard dot html. That's all. So let us, what we'll do in login, we'll log in it. We don't require registration, right? We can directly, so login viewer, login now. So directly I'm saying login. So this is login and give the username and password. Give the username and password and click on login. Now you can see welcome employee because this user is what? Employee. Naresh is what? Employee. Then which dashboard is displayed? Employee dashboard. This is which dashboard? Employee. Now what we'll do is we'll have another user. We'll create another user register. Enter the username. Some Naresh 3 is there. So there is a Naresh 3. So same password. But this user is admin. This user is what? Admin. Register. So what I'm doing is, now this is Naresh 3. So once you say login, now this user is, who is this? Admin. Which user is a admin user? Then it is displayed which dashboard? Admin dashboard. Okay. How can you change the color and position from error message? Error message. So form.errors are there, no? Is it form is having errors? Yes or no? So display that errors in a paragraph and change the color. Okay. Yeah, this is a registration view and this is which one? Dashboard. And here in the dashboard, now here we try to display the dashboard according to which one? Role. If it is admin, you are giving which dashboard? Admin dashboard. If it's an employee, you are displaying which dashboard? Employee dashboard. Okay. But in employee dashboard, now I have a various options. What are the options is there? Like add a student, update student, delete student, and view students. Okay. I have a different options like adding, updating, deleting, and viewing. But when you talk about employee is having only one permission. Certain employees will have all the, now suppose employee is having only one permission. And what is that permission? Viewing which details? Student details. But you cannot add it, you cannot update, or you cannot delete. So you can also get the permission. You can also get what here? Permission. But anyway, because already role is defined, right? You get directly the dashboard. In that dashboard, you give only the things which belongs to that person. You don't require to check for the permissions here. Okay, right? So this is how you are trying to display the dashboard based on the role. But now if you want, you can make more secure by saying at the rate what required, login required, at the rate login required. Suppose you log out. but you want again login is required, then just use a decorator called login required. Django dot contribute dot authentication dot decorators import. What is the name of this is login required decorator. Now decorators are very important. Okay, that's the reason in Python class you learn. So what is the use of decorators? So decorator is a special function, right? And that will add some extra features to the existing function without modifying it. Without modifying, you are adding some extra features to the existing function using what decorators. Very much useful even when you are moving to, yes, what do you call it as generative AI. Now you want to build some agents, or you want to build a Gen AI application. You want to build your own Gen AI application, some chatbots, right? Then you use some frameworks, right? Like suppose if you want to develop web application, what you are using? Django. You are using what? Flash. In the same way, you have some frameworks. What is the name of that framework? Is LangChain. What is the name of this? Is LangChain. So LangChain can be used. Now very simple. Now you can build it. Now using this LangChain is a framework. It is a framework for building which one? Agents. Okay. Now the person who don't know machine learning, he can able to build what? Agents. But if you want to understand the internal functionality, you should have a knowledge of ML. Otherwise, not required. Otherwise, not required. Okay. So LangChain is a easy way to start building completely custom agents and applications powered by LLMs. Okay, LLMs. Now there are different. I mean, this LangChain is able to communicate with different LLMs like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and so many LLMs are there, right? Okay. So this is creating an agent, and this is which agent? This is creating an agent. This is creating one agent. Okay. So what you are trying to do? You are trying to use some function called create agent. And which model you are using? You are using which model? Cloud A model and tools. And what is the tool is get weather. It's nothing but this get weather is what here? Tool. Tool is nothing but what here? Prompt. Tool is nothing but what here? Prompt. So you are saying get weather for a given city. Get weather for a given city. Okay. Now that is a prompt, and system prompt is your helpful assistant. And agent dot invoke message role user content is what is the weather in some what is a city, some SF. Okay, that is value what you are sending it. Okay, this is one way of doing it. There are different ways. There are different ways of doing this. Tools will be there, and you can see here at the rate tool. What is at the rate tool is decorator. At the rate tool is what here? Decorator. Okay. So developing agents also very easy, because there are so many frameworks are there. LangChain, LangGraph. Okay, all these are different. Hugging Face. All these are different frameworks by using which you can build agents, custom agents. You can develop it. Suppose you are developing this web application. For this web application, you want to create one agent. For your web application, you want to create some agent. Then can you build an agent or not? Yes. Bring or not. So you can put some what do you call it as assistant. You can create one assistant where it assists how to work with this web application like that, right? Anyway, this is a role based. This is role based displaying of which one? Dashboards. Okay, right? So just try to understand this. Then next one is, I think you understood this. So that is authentication and authorization. Okay. Then next one is, see, once you are authenticated and authorized, then the rest of the operations will be same. What operation employee can do, you define in the dashboard. What operation admin can do, define that in dashboard and perform operations. Okay, right. Then next we'll go for another topic here. And what is that another topic is middleware. So how to build a middlewares. Okay, how to build a middleware. So let me copy this here. But this code you understood? Follow here, this code. So this is very important, because whenever you work with any project, your project is not used by one person. Your project is used by so many persons, and group of persons are given one. A group of people are put in one group, and based on the group, you'll try to allow some specific operations. Okay, right? Yes, but you can create that groups and permissions directly in admin panel. You can customize it by developing your own authentication system. You can use predefined authentication system, or you can create your own authentication system where you can customize all the things. Okay, that is what we have done this. Otherwise, you can directly go to admin. Otherwise, directly you can use admin interface, and there you can create forms. Sorry, there you can create users, groups, permissions, and everything. Okay. Yes. Then next we'll see middlewares. How to build your own middleware. How to build your own middleware. So this is admin dashboard.html. See, it is not like Python where you write only one program. So web development means you have a lot of things. Now suppose you know React.js. Now you integrate with what? React.js. Okay, you have a React.js, then integrate with what? React.js. Integrate with React.js. Okay, yes. React.js is front end or back end? Front end, right? Then integrate with what? React.js. You know already React.js, huh? No, if you don't know, no problem. If you know it, then integrate it. So login template. Now you have to create. You have to start developing at least one. You have to develop at least one, right? One thing you have to develop it. Compulsory it is, right? You are done, huh? Then URLs done. URLs dot py. URLs dot py, right? Then next we'll see middleware. So there is another application called which one? Middleware. Middleware is there. So there is a middleware. So whenever you create a project, your project is created with inbuilt applications and inbuilt middlewares. You can see that middleware applications in settings.py. Now these are installed applications and these are what? Middlewares. Now there is a security middleware, there is a session middleware, there is a common middleware, there is authentication middleware, CSR view middleware, message middleware, and all these things. Now what is a middleware is an application or a Python program, and this get executed before sending a request to view and before sending a response to client. Before sending a response to the client. What is a middleware? Which acts as a mediator between the client and view and server and what? Client. Server and client. I can say middleware do the pre-request and post-response. Middleware does the pre-request and post-response. Pre-request. Pre-request is nothing but before sending the request to what? View. Before sending the request to the view. Now suppose you have a session middleware. What session middleware verify? Is it this request contain the session or not? If the session is there, it get the details from where? Model. If the session is not there, it just forward to the view, where in view you create a new session. You create a new session. That is a job done by which one? Session middleware. Now whenever it generate a response, okay, it is generating a response by adding whose details? Session details into what? A response and sending to what? Browser. Because what is exchange between the client and server is session ID. And that session ID is stored in what? Browser. Now, whenever client send a request, the request is sent with what? ID. Okay, but when you send a first request, that ID should be stored in what? Browser. But who's storing that? Middleware. What is a middleware is? Session middleware. So this is a middleware which will receive the request first. It will receive the request first, and then after receiving the request, okay, then what operation you want to do it? Before sending the request to what here? View. What operation you want to do it before sending the request to what here? View. Before sending the request to the view, what operation you want? Suppose, assume that I want to block. Suppose I want to block certain IP addresses. I want to block certain IP addresses, or I want to block certain users. I want to block some IP addresses, or I want to block certain users. Some users or some IP addresses. It means whenever I get a request from some IP address, suppose you have a application in India, you want to block IP address of other countries. Then how can I block it? For that, I create one middleware. I create one middleware. In that middleware, I'll try to mention if any request come from this IP address, if any request come from this IP address, okay, don't send that request to what here? View. Getting on, don't send that request to what? View, because request contain whose details? Request contain whose details? User details. User details are what? Client. So client to send a request by using what? Browser. Browser is called as which one? User agent. What is the browser is called? User agent. Suppose assume that I want to process only the request if the user agent is what do you call it as Chrome. If the user agent is only Chrome, then only I want to process the request. If the user agent is not a Chrome, then I don't want to process the request. Because of suppose it should not accept the request come from Mozilla. It should not accept the request come from what? Some other browser. I want to process the request. It comes from only certain user agents. Then how can I do that? So before sending the request, I should do certain operations or not? Yes. And that operations you are doing it which one? Middleware. Middleware. What is a middleware is a program or it is an application. It is a Python program or it is a application. What it will do? Pre-request. Pre-request. And one more is what? Post-response. It is a pre-request and post-response. Post-response. Pre-request means before sending the request to the view. Post-response means before sending a response to what? Client. What operation you want to do it? That operations you write in which one? Middleware. So it is just like a filter. It is just like a filter or not? Yes. Where you filter the things in which one? Middleware. So that is what CSRF token is verified. Who is verifying CSRF token? Middleware. So if the request method is a post, always it look for what? CSRF token. If it is not there, is it send a request to the view? No. Then who's generating error? Middleware itself is generating one error by saying that this CSRF token is what? Missing. So is it these are inbuilt middlewares or not? Yes. But instead of inbuilt middlewares, you can build your own middleware. So it is simple. It is a Python program only. Okay. Now we'll talk about otherwise how to work with this middlewares. Okay, not today, but we'll see tomorrow. Yeah. Working with what? Middleware. Already who said yeah? Who said? Holy. No holy. Only Django. Khali Django. Class is there. Okay, na? Class is there. No holy. We'll play holy here. Yes, sir. Right. Class is there. Okay, right? No holiday. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow. Right.